The British royal family thought they had already endured every possible scandal, every leak, every accusation, every public meltdown. But according to explosive rumors now racing across social media, a storm far bigger than anyone expected may have been quietly building behind palace walls for years. And at the center of that storm stands Meghan Markle, a woman who reportedly believed she had buried every uncomfortable chapter of her past forever. But what happens when the past refuses to stay buried? What happens when someone who once knew every detail suddenly decides to speak? According to these claims, that nightmare scenario is exactly what sent shockwaves from California all the way to Buckingham Palace. And if the whispers are true, King Charles was not prepared to sit back and watch it unfold.
Meghan Markle's private life is back in the spotlight following provocative news statements from her ex-husband.
What started as a rumor quickly transformed into something much more dangerous. Deep inside private online communities where political insiders, media watchers, and royal observers constantly exchange information, an astonishing claim suddenly began spreading like wildfire. The name attached to the rumor immediately caught everyone's attention. Trevor Engelson, Meghan's former husband, the man who knew her before the royal titles, before the interviews, before the documentaries, before the carefully crafted public image known around the world. The whispers claim Trevor was allegedly preparing something explosive, not just a memoir, not just a collection of personal memories, but a detailed account of his experiences, supported by documents and information that could supposedly reveal a side of Meghan the public had never seen before. Suddenly, social media exploded with speculation. What exactly did Trevor know? Why now? And perhaps most importantly, what was Meghan so afraid of? According to the circulating narrative, panic began spreading almost immediately. The story suggests Meghan allegedly viewed the possibility of such a publication as a direct threat to everything she had spent years building: her public image, her reputation, her carefully managed story. Supporters dismissed the rumors as nonsense. Critics treated them like confirmation of long-held suspicions. But one thing was undeniable: people were paying attention, and then things allegedly became even more dramatic. Instead of waiting quietly for events to unfold, rumors claimed Meghan launched into action. Phone calls, messages, strategic discussions, behind-the-scenes conversations. Every possible effort allegedly focused on containing the growing wildfire before it could spread any further. But the more people tried to suppress the rumor, the bigger it seemed to become. Curiosity exploded. Questions multiplied. The internet smelled blood in the water. Then came what some observers described as the most aggressive move of all. According to the story circulating online, Meghan allegedly attempted to seize control of the narrative by turning attention toward Trevor himself. Reports claim sympathetic voices suddenly began painting him in a negative light. Questions were raised about his motives, his timing, his credibility. The objective, according to critics, was simple. If Trevor could be discredited first, then nobody would take his claims seriously later. It was a risky strategy, a dangerous strategy. And if the rumors are accurate, it may have triggered consequences Meghan never expected. Because while the public focused on California, another operation was allegedly unfolding thousands of miles away in London. Inside palace circles, whispers suggest King Charles had already been alerted to everything, every rumor, every allegation, every piece of speculation circulating through private networks. Unlike public commentators screaming across television screens, Charles reportedly approached the situation with cold calculation. Rather than reacting emotionally, he allegedly wanted answers. Real answers. The claims suggest the king quietly instructed trusted royal security officials to determine exactly what was happening. No headlines, no public statements, no dramatic announcements, just a discreet effort to understand whether the growing scandal represented a genuine threat to the monarchy. And that was when the situation reportedly took an extraordinary turn. According to the narrative, royal investigators allegedly began pursuing access to the material Trevor was supposedly preparing. Their goal was not publicity. Their goal was information. They wanted to know whether the rumors contained substance or whether they were simply another internet fantasy destined to disappear within days. What happened next has become the most controversial part of the entire story. The rumors claim palace-connected investigators eventually obtained access to Trevor's alleged manuscript and supporting documents. If true, the contents reportedly stunned everyone involved. Page after page allegedly painted a picture completely different from the public fairy tale that had been promoted for years. And then came the revelation that changed everything. According to the documents described in these rumors, Meghan may have known Prince Harry much earlier than publicly acknowledged, not 2016, but allegedly 2014. 2 years. Just 2 years. Yet those 2 years threatened to rewrite the entire narrative. If the timeline was wrong, what else might be wrong? If the public story was incomplete, what other details remain hidden? Inside the palace, according to these reports, those questions suddenly became impossible to ignore. What began as a rumor about a memoir was rapidly transforming into something much larger, something more dangerous, something capable of shaking relationships, reputations, and perhaps even the foundations of one of the world's most famous families. The alleged discovery of the 2014 timeline was only the beginning. According to the explosive narrative circulating among royal watchers, investigators supposedly found themselves staring at something far bigger than a simple date discrepancy. The earlier connection allegedly opened the door to a much larger theory, one suggesting that what the public believed was a spontaneous royal romance may have been something far more calculated behind the scenes. Suddenly, every old interview, every public statement, and every carefully repeated version of events came under intense scrutiny. Critics began asking questions. Supporters rushed to defend Meghan. The battle lines were drawn, and the controversy grew larger with every passing hour. According to the rumors, the documents allegedly described a long-term ambition to enter elite social circles and gain influence through powerful connections. Whether true or not, the claims generated enormous discussion because they directly challenged the fairy tale narrative that had captivated audiences around the world for years. The allegations painted a picture of careful planning, strategic networking, and deliberate positioning. To critics, it looked like confirmation. To supporters, it looked like character assassination. But regardless of which side people chose, one thing was becoming impossible to ignore. The story refused to disappear. As speculation intensified, King Charles reportedly faced a difficult decision. According to the narrative, he allegedly chose not to immediately expose the information publicly. Instead, the rumors claim he wanted answers first. Real answers. The story suggests a confidential package containing the alleged evidence was quietly sent to Meghan, accompanied by a direct message demanding an explanation. If the rumors are to be believed, the king wanted to know whether there was any truth behind the allegations before taking further action. What happened next allegedly shocked palace insiders. Rather than offering a detailed response, Meghan was said to have reacted with complete defiance. The circulating story portrays her as refusing to back down, rejecting accusations, and turning criticism back toward her opponents. Whether those claims are accurate remains impossible to verify, but within the narrative itself, this moment became a major turning point. Palace patience, according to the rumors, had finally reached its limit. Then, another controversy erupted. Just as tensions between California and London allegedly reached a boiling point, social media exploded with the circulation of old photographs from Meghan's past. The images spread rapidly across countless platforms, accompanied by endless commentary, accusations, and speculation. Critics treated the photographs as further evidence supporting their theories. Supporters condemned the circulation of the images as an invasion of privacy and another attempt to discredit Meghan. The internet transformed into a battlefield where every photograph, every caption, and every rumor became ammunition. The pressure continued building. According to the narrative, King Charles eventually decided that Prince Harry himself needed to see the full collection of documents and allegations. The rumors claim the king allegedly forwarded everything directly to his youngest son, hoping he would finally understand the seriousness of the situation. Within the story, this moment is portrayed as deeply emotional. A father desperately trying to reach a son, a monarchy struggling to protect its reputation, a family fracture growing wider with every new revelation. Yet even that was reportedly not enough. The narrative claims palace officials concluded that private conversations could no longer contain the damage. Public scrutiny had reached extraordinary levels. Headlines were multiplying. Social media was relentless. The monarchy, according to these reports, felt cornered by an endless cycle of controversy. Then came the most dramatic claim of all. According to the rumors, a powerful public statement was allegedly authorized declaring that Meghan's actions had caused severe embarrassment to the monarchy. The language described in the story was harsh, uncompromising, and absolute. Critics celebrated what they viewed as accountability. Supporters condemned it as another example of unfair treatment. The divide became deeper than ever. And that is where the story reaches its most dramatic crossroads. If the allegations are true, the relationship between Meghan and the royal family has descended into a conflict unlike anything witnessed in recent royal history. If the allegations are false, then one of the largest reputation battles of modern times is unfolding before the public's eyes. Either way, the tension continues to grow. The palace stands on one side, California stands on the other. Prince Harry remains trapped in the middle, and as new rumors continue surfacing and old questions refuse to disappear, many observers believe this story is far from over, because in the world of royalty, secrets rarely stay hidden forever, and sometimes the most explosive chapter is the one that has not yet been revealed.